Welcome to Loving Me Before I Love You with Tammy Nicole, the podcast dedicated to you loving and putting yourself first. Others have come first in your life for years, and you know it's time for that to change. You're about to be empowered to set healthy boundaries, confidently have hard conversations, unapologetically put yourself first, and live the peaceful life you deserve. Remember, self-love is essential, and loving yourself sets the stage for every other love in your life. So get ready to embrace self-love like never before with your host, Coach Tammy Nicole.
Hey, it's Transformation Tuesday over at Loving Me Before I Love You. Y'all, in this May Mother's Day celebration month, a lot of us talk more about what it is to be a mom, the struggles of motherhood. We talk about all the things that are on women's shoulders that are mothers. And some of us are mothers not just by biological connection. Some of us are mothers through being an aunt, being a godmother, being a distant cousin. But we're mothering and nurturing children on the regular basis. One subject a lot of us do not talk about that I want to discuss today is who are you outside of your motherhood, right? And outside of motherhood, from a standpoint of you had kids, you raised them, they are grown and gone. Who are you now that they have left the nest? We talk about empty nest syndrome and going through the stages. A lot of us don't talk about who we become after they have left. Well, today, that's what we're going to talk about. Who are you outside of motherhood? I do have a guest with me. She's not a stranger to the show. She's been here. Actually, she came probably like season 1. And here we are in season 4, and she's back. Let's see. Am I going to say we had a name change? Yep, I'm going to say we had a name change. So you knew her as Evelyn Peters before, but she's now Evelyn Smith. And so she's here to discuss life after the nest has become empty. And we talking about it because my nest is on its way to being empty and I ain't quite ready. But when we talk about self-love and we talk about finding ourselves and we talk about who we are outside of motherhood, that change matters. Welcome to the show, E.
Thank you.
Welcome back, shall I say.
Thank you for having me.
You are an empty nester and, technically an empty nester. But how has that change affected you for you? Like you as mom, not just mom, but like as woman, as Evelyn, as you, like how did that change affect you?
Well, I have to start by saying that it was very sad. We think of, I can't wait, right? I can't wait for my child to be grown and gone and doing their own thing. But you don't realize how empty the house truly does feel. Even though, my son, as he entered his teenage years, was always in his room, right? And then, started working and being out, the noise of him coming home, being in the kitchen, just moving about was just gone. And that, I think it was the biggest impact that I felt was, wait, I don't hear him. I don't hear him laugh. I don't hear him cough even, right? Like just the little things that we don't pay that much attention to, you truly feel the absence of it. So, the day that he moved out, I cried. I didn't think I was, but it was that feeling of, wait a minute, that's my baby. And now he is out there and on his own. And, I'm not going to see him every day. I'm not going to talk to him every day because he's trying to figure himself out. Right. So I found myself saying, hey, wait, I'm still here. Call your mom, come see your mom. So it's definitely been an adjustment um, of letting him go, uh, because you never truly let him go. But the not seeing every day, not having that contact on a daily basis, it's
Mhm.
truly felt.
The routine has changed,
Definitely.
right? That's the way I look at it. But I also look at it as what I'm contemplating, what that process is going to be like. I'm like, but I'm going to have to get back to me. I'm going to have
Absolutely.
to, you know, find myself again. It's a new version, right? So it's like I found myself after divorce. I found myself, in single motherhood. I found myself in a dating perspective. I found different versions.
Mhm.
How was finding yourself after he left? And I'm sure you're probably still doing it, but what's that process like?
Yeah. So it was a little different for me this time because yes, I found myself as a single mom. And yes, my identity was hi Sean's mom, right? Like I
Yeah.
didn't have a name anymore. I was his mom. And even as he got older with his friends coming over, it was, hey mom,
Yeah.
you know but now again with that being gone, well, as he was transitioning out, I was transitioning into a new role once again, as well as now wife. So there was a little overlap there on, okay, I'm a fiance, now, and the focus is on that role. But still, yes, discovering me in that as well, because now it's, oh, I truly enjoy traveling, right? Like now I get to travel. I get to, experience those things. I get to just get up and go and not worry about, is he going to eat? Is he, going to be safe? Who is he going to bring into my house type of situation? All of that is gone. So it's discovering one, how to relax a little bit more,
Hmm.
um, and having that, that sense of freedom in a way, but never being too far still, because I'm only a phone call away still for him. But just saying, I'm gone. I'm gonna go do this, or no, I'm not coming home this weekend. Like, we're staying out. It's it's still a process. Because yes, mentally it's still, hey, you okay? Do you need anything? Even though it's almost a year now that he's been out of the house. Just crazy how time flies with that as well. But I'm still discovering who I am when it comes to that, because I've had to discover how to be that mom that is hands off a little,
Hmm.
learning that it's okay. He's okay. You taught him well. He's doing well, and take that step back, breathe. So yes, it's still a process, but slowly but surely coming along.
I think a lot of times we don't really give them credit or ourselves credit for the most part. Really, it's more about, it's a little bit of them, but it's a lot of bit of us on the job that was done for preparation. I
Correct.
think we do all the preparation for them to be adults, for us to be, separated. And then when it actually shows up, we don't give ourselves credit for the work that was done. It's almost like double work trying to happen versus like it's done. Like you did it. Like it's over. It's, and breathe and give
Um,
yourself credit for what you've done and not try to overdo it, not
right.
try to redo it, or not try to continue to add more to the equation because, oh my God, I missed this part, or I
Yeah.
forgot to teach this section over here. Not
Correct.
understanding that the life and the world itself is going to teach the things that you missed. You
Right.
know what I mean? And there's still going to be times where they come back. to ask questions about things that you didn't get a chance to discover. And
Right.
it's not that, ooh, you forgot to do it. It's more about, ooh, it didn't have the opportunity to show up,
Mm-hmm.
because everything in life that we experience, they won't experience at the same time we did. So when
Right.
that time comes, when it shows up and it gives you, so it's like the motherhood side of it, as much as it is, who are we outside of it, it never per se disappears.
It doesn't.
But I think it's a level thing. It's like that level of motherhood was like super high, you know, everything about that child was on the top of the brain 24/7 before you, though we are learning that you have to always come first.
Mm-hmm.
It was just there.
Correct.
Now it's like, oh, your level kind of dropped even further. You know, I mean, it's like, oh, let's push you down just a little bit. You don't need to be
Correct.
that tapped in.
And also on that, in regards to that as well, is the trying not to jump to, let me just fix it for you when he comes back. It's like, oh, okay, well, you're encountering that issue. What's your plan? Right? How are you planning to approach that? What's your
Yeah.
solution to that? Instead of, okay, mom will just do it, right? Because you're struggling and we want to fix it because they're struggling. And it's like, no, it's a growth process for them and for me, right? Because it's like, no, I have to let him figure it out.
Yeah.
I will never leave him stranded, right? But it's, let me see how you work towards a solution on this, because at the end of the day, that'll help you. Or if you do encounter it again, you'll know how to resolve it.
Facts. Facts. I don't think we talk about that. Like, even allowing, it's the allotment of like, I'm going to encourage you to figure it out versus me, because we are fixers in
Yes.
our relationships, period, as women.
Period.
Our thing is, how can I got a solution for that. Let me fix that for you. Let
Right.
me, handle it. Um, period. It don't matter what type of relationship it is. Romantic, friendship, the kids,
Right.
work, you like immediately, I can fix that. Let me
Yep.
figure out how to fix that, without giving the other person the opportunity to try to fix it themselves.
Right. Right. 100%. 100%. And even in the process of my son moving out, like that was a concern for me on, well, is he going to be able to handle this? And, my husband, fiance at the time, said, you'll never know if you don't let him go. You have to let him go. Like, this is what he's wanting to do. Give him the opportunity. He'll always have a home. He can always come back home if he needs to reset. But you don't know what you can do until you try.
That's facts. So you let him go out. He's doing his thing. He's flourishing. You are like, hey, I know I'm here. Like, come see, like you
Come see
feel
me.
that don't forget about me experience. My question to you in this moment is, as much as you wanted him not to forget about you, had you already forgotten about you?
Ah, that's a great question. I had forgotten about me. I had. Because yes, it was everything on, I'm doing this for him. Even, when I did the career change, it was, let me go back to school because I want better for him. Even though I was going through the process and doing the work for me, my focus was still him. And even right now, it's saying that it's, wait, did I even celebrate me? Everything that I accomplished with, getting my bachelor's while he was little. I went back to school when he was 2, and working full time, being a single mom. My focus was being better for him. And then went back when he was 7 to get my master's. It was still for him. I wanted to lead by example for him. I don't think I ever stopped to celebrate me until right now that you said that. I need to celebrate me for those accomplishments.
Absolutely.
Myself to something. Just for,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. I think a lot of times we are moving for other people. We don't move for us. though we benefit from it, the intent behind it wasn't about us.
No, not at all. Not at
They
all.
get grown and they're gone, and your intentions have to change. Technically, they should change before that, because y'all already know how I feel about loving yourself before loving other people, and those are kids included. Y'all can hit the email box all day and the comment box all. I mean, I really don't care. Like, that's the reality. You are supposed to become first, period,
Yeah.
and everybody. And that's, of course, outside of God. God is before us. But I'm saying, when we talking about the interactions of people, we come first and everybody else follows suit. If we don't come first, we do not set them up on how to treat us. You don't set them up on how to interact with you. It's like they get to choose and you just have to accept. They get to choose, and no, but when you put yourself first, you get to demonstrate and they have
Mm-hmm.
to align.
Mm-hmm.
Whole different perspective. The atmosphere changes when you operate from that perspective. So
Absolutely.
yes, the intention has to be on you.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, have you discovered any different passions, interests, or parts of yourself that may used to be in the back then? I used to do that. I stopped because of X, Y, and Z, and now I can do it again.
Well, as you know, I had mentioned before, the traveling piece. I had neglected myself in discovering, different cultures and different places, because I was so focused on him. I can't go because of him. Or, nope, that money needs to go towards something that he needs. So one is that. Two is I pamper myself now. Like, I'm going to get my hair done. I'm going to get my nails done. Regardless of anything else that's going on, I have to take care of me in that and do what makes me happy in that regard. Because again, like you said, if you don't take care of yourself, no one else, one, is going to do it, right? Two, when you feel good, you do better. You look better. You can present yourself better to others. So that's one thing for sure where I didn't do before. I didn't used to get my hair done all the time. I didn't used to get my nails done all the time. I'm on a schedule now because that's my time. And my phone is on. No, don't call me with drama. Don't call me with anything during that time. That is my time to feed myself, relax, and just be me, whatever that looks like. And then I treat myself to something after that, even. Like, I love sweets. I stop and I get myself an ice cream, or I go for a walk or whatever. That's my time. And yes, again, I have a husband now, right? But that's been made clear as well to him. This is my time because I did dedicate my life to my son. Still love my son, right? Like I said, I will always be there for him, but he has that understanding now too. Like, oh, wait, mom needs her time as well. So when he checks up on me now, it's, are you okay? Are you good? How are you feeling? Right? And it's like, I haven't heard from you in a couple of days. Oh, okay. You're now missing me too. All right, I'm good, type of thing. So taking care of myself, one, that I didn't do that before, again, at all. So definitely taking care of myself. I enjoy those things. I enjoy sitting at the nail salon, talking to the girls and just having that little time, or getting my hair done, talking to, the stylist, having that time. I binge watch shows now, which I didn't do before because I was too busy doing for others. No, I will watch a whole series. So it sounds like little things, but it's things that I didn't get to enjoy before that I'm discovering now. And it's like, oh, yes, this is much needed. It's much needed to have lazy days also, because we don't get those as moms. We don't. So
Yeah, we tend not to do them because there's always something to do, right? We
mhm.
come from that perspective of, oh, I could do laundry, or I can wash these baseboards, or I can clean this over here, or wait, he needs this. Let me go get that now so I don't have to worry about it later. Like, it's always something to do. We're always on the go.
Always.
And it's normally because we're trying to do things that we think we're going to either forget, do things that other people need. It doesn't necessarily always be about us. But when you started doing these things for yourself, was there any type of guilt that came in that says, you shouldn't be enjoying all this free time? You really should be figuring out something else. You could be doing X, Y, and Z for this person. But, like, did the guilt come in because you were so used to being on for everybody?
100%. 100%. It's like you said, should I really be doing this right now? Should I be spending the money on this right now? Well, what if he needs, something, an emergency comes up? Maybe I should set this aside. No, I don't do that anymore. I don't. You will figure it out. I need to do this for me. Because again, if I'm looking a hot mess, depressed, or just exhausted, I can't show up for anyone. I can't show up
Yeah.
for myself in those
Get
moments.
along with them.
Yeah.
Right.
So yes, you feel guilty, but you learn to get over it. You get over it, as time goes by. Like I said, it's been almost a year that he's been out. So no, I don't think twice about it anymore. Like, well, maybe I need to stay closer to home in case, he comes and needs something. Like, no, you better call before you come and see if I'm home. Other than that, I will see you when I get back, type of thing. So I've learned to become, some people may say, a little selfish. But no, it's self-loving, like you would say.
Yeah. Yeah, when it comes to that word selfish, right? I low-key got a problem with the word as a whole. Because to say that I'm selfish because I'm doing something for me, it sounds so asinine. Like, it just sounds so like, why? Like, why would you consider that to be selfish? Am I not important enough to do something for? Yeah, I hate the word as a
Right.
me and that word don't get along. Because I got to do for me, and I'm unapologetic for it. Like, so selfish? Nah, far from it. I really want somebody, and maybe I should look it up right now, like the definition of selfish, because yeah, I'm doing for me.
Yeah. Oh, and the other thing is girl time, which I didn't do before. Girl time, hanging out with my girls, just for, even if we schedule a day, hey, we are going out, we are hanging out, it is us, it is girls' night out, and just having a blast without worrying about, oh, it's such and such time, I got to get home. Like, no, we are out, we're having a good time, making memories that are my memories.
That part. Now, I just looked up this selfish word, right? And maybe, based upon the definition, I think because it has such a negative connotation to it is why I got an issue with it. But the definition says someone who is concerned primarily with their own welfare, pleasure, or interest, showing little to no regard for others. That's the problem right there. The little to no regard for others. Me doing for me has nothing to do with you
at all.
So it's not considered selfish. It is self-love at its highest. But just because I'm doing for me does not mean I disregard you. It doesn't mean that I have put you on the back burner or the wayside, or that I'm inconsiderate of what you need, want, desire, etc. It just means that what you need, want, and desire comes second to what I need, want, and desire for me. I didn't disregard it. No. I just put it in its proper place. And I think that's the problem. We have taken the connotation of no regard to other people as I'm putting you where you belong. I'm putting you in your right spot. So if I'm number one and you're number two, When one is done, two comes next. So at your time is when you'll get the things that you need. But I
I
did
think
not give it to you at all.
I think the problem also is when we put others in the place that we should have been to begin with. When we put others in
Facts.
number one spot and they get used to being there, so that once the transition happens and it's like, wait, I should be there, and we start putting ourselves there, then it's that you're selfish. You're not regarding me, when
Yeah.
ultimately, no, that should have been my spot all along.
From the
I
beginning.
put you there, and now I'm taking my spot back. I still love
Yeah.
you. I'm not going to step on you, right, to get to where I want to be or need to be. Just
Facts.
recognizing that that was my place to begin with.
Facts. That's it. I think we just cracked the code. So the code is this. Don't call nobody selfish because they loving on them.
Right.
If they totally disregard you, then you can call them selfish. Them taking what's rightfully theirs is not selfish. If they just basically take you and throw you in the sea of forgetfulness, like I done forgot about you, okay, I get it. But if they are just simply putting themselves first, and basically considering themselves before they consider you, that's not being selfish. They're loving on them, and you should probably love on you. Because maybe
Right.
if you took the time to put yourself first, you wouldn't be that concerned about them putting themselves first.
100%.
I think a lot of us don't do that, right? It's like we look for other people to fix, feel, and fuel ourselves because we're so busy fixing, feeling, and fueling others.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
no, you have to start with you and then flow to other people.
Wow, today's episode is a good one. I know you're enjoying it, and we'll get back to it shortly. Just wanted to take a quick break to let you know that Tammy would love for you to share any questions, comments, or topic ideas you have with her. All you have to do is send them to her in an email to podcast@IamTammyNicole.com. Thank you, and without further ado, let's get back into today's show.
Yeah,
Which
that's
is
the
why
lesson.
which is why I think that some moms have such a difficult time when the child leaves, because they've wrapped their happiness and their identity into that child. And so when that child finds their own identity and what pleases them and leave, or,
Grow on.
discover themselves and grow up and out, then that person is like, wait, you're supposed to make me happy. What do I do now? So I'm glad that, yes, even though I was, recognized as Sean's mom, I didn't fully engulf my identity into him. I was still
Yeah.
me. He was my concern, right? My responsibility. But I didn't rely on my child to make me happy. And I think that's where, a lot of moms get wrapped up in that. And I know some that have done that. Some relatives that have done that. And when the child grows up and they're like, "But wait a minute." Now they're miserable, they're angry, they're, wanting to stay tethered to that child. And that's not fair to that child. It's not fair to who they are either, or those around them, because again, they don't become very pleasant to be around because they're upset. They're upset. And you're upset with yourself because you did, allow that child to be your whole life. Your whole life. We can't do that.
Yeah. I think we get tied into the title too. Like, titles are not identities, they're titles. You know what I mean? And you can have
Correct.
multiple titles because you do multiple things, but what you do
Absolutely.
is not who you are. And I
No.
think a lot of us have equated what we do to being who we are. I've said it several times. If I ask you, who are you? And the minute I ask you that, the response is, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a teacher, I'm like, those are titles. Those
Mhm.
are titles.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not who you are. That's not your character. Who you
Right.
are reverts to your character. I think um, when we think about our careers and things of that nature, are you interviewing for a job and they always say, oh, tell me a little bit about yourself. You know, skillful individuals who have been in the workforce a long time understand that that question is more about what careers have you had? What is your history? What have
Right.
you been doing? But
Right.
you'll get people, I mean, we've been in HR a long time. You'll get people that'll come in and be like, oh, you know, I've been married for the last 15 years and I have 2 kids. And it's like, yeah, no, that's not what that question was for. And I
Right.
think being able to distinguish between what is someone really saying when they're talking to you really matters. But as a mom, growing and knowing who you are, like you are a mom, but you are a person too. You are
Right.
that other side of you. Like you, that's just a piece. That's just a little section that
Right.
says this is the thing that you can do. But the
Right.
same skill sets you have in motherhood, you have in a relationship because you are a woman, right?
Correct.
Like it's the title determines who you're serving.
Mm. Yes. 100%. That said it all. That said it all in that moment. Because when you're at work, okay,
You
I'm an
serving that
HR
job.
specialist. Okay.
Yeah.
At home, you know, cooking dinner and catering. Okay, that's
Yep.
the wife part, right? And talking to friends about their problems. Okay, that's the friend part. But you're right. Like, who are you at the end of when you dinner is done, you hang up the phone, the work day is over. Who are you at that moment? Right. And it's so funny that you brought up that interview question that when you're interviewing for a job, because we've had to change that question from tell me about yourself to tell me about your professional
Yep.
accomplishments.
Yep.
Because people will lead into that. And it's like,
Yep.
okay, that's
I didn't want to.
great. But what does that do for the company? Right, for
Right.
this role. And
Right.
so it that's the great way to put it, because if you think about that, like, yes, I'm a mom, I'm a sister, I'm a friend, I'm a daughter, I'm, all these things. And it's like, okay, great. But who are you?
Yeah.
It's yeah, that's a great way to put it. Great way to put it. Like, I'm intelligent, I'm caring, I'm
That's who you
giving.
are.
Yes, those things.
Yes. Right. And you
100%.
discover those things when you spend time with yourself. And I think a lot of times we don't spend enough time with us. And I always tell people, and I tell my clients all the time, spending time with yourself does not always have to be done alone. Some of us are afraid to be alone for whatever reason. There may
Mm,
be childhood, issues that came up that create that I can't really do this by myself from a
mm,
physical perspective. But being with yourself and spending time with you means that I sit with my thoughts, that I understand why I think what I think, that I understand the desires of my heart, that I understand where I'm trying to go and head for me. But you don't learn who you are until you sit with you. Till you
mm,
go, dang, that was kind of harsh of a thought to have towards so and so. I wonder why that came up. I wonder
mm.
why I felt that way. Until you are able to, and like I said, you don't have to do it by yourself. You can do it with a friend. If you have somebody that you fully trust, you can
Right,
come and say, girl, now I probably shouldn't have thought this, but this is what I thought when I said blah, blah, blah. What you think about that?
right,
And if you have that level of connection and trust within that person, and you're allowing them to say their truth without getting mad, without feeling
right,
like that was rude or she
mm,
don't get me. You know what I mean? Like it will allow
right,
you to see yourself. I
right.
always encourage you to have friendships that see you, that allow you to see
Truly,
you.
truly see you. Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
And that's not afraid to tell you, you know, you stepped out of bounds right there. I don't know if I would have done that, or I don't like, and be okay with it. That's you being you outside of motherhood. That's you being able to, discover who you are. We don't do it.
No,
We
we
need to.
don't. We don't. To allow that, I love you, girl, but you were wrong moment, right? And to know that because you have that genuine connection of a friendship, that it's not
Mhm.
coming from a place of malice. They're telling you because one, well, you were truly wrong. Don't do that again. Like, why did that happen? Right? And to not just say you were wrong, but let's to be able to dive into that conversation of this is why. And like you said, for you to be able to sit and be receptive to that feedback without,
Mhm.
I knew she didn't like me, type of attitude. Because yet
Yeah.
again, where's that coming from? Right?
Yeah.
So there, oh my goodness, there's so many layers to this thing called life. So many
There are a
layers.
lot. There are a lot. I think a lot of times we just tend to like go with the flow. We exist in life. We don't live. Um, Again, that comes, how are you living? Like, your titles don't change. The
Mhm.
service of that title has changed.
Correct.
But are you living? You know what I mean? If we start taking life and live life instead of just existing in it through its process and allowing life to happen to us versus us, I don't even want to say controlling it, but us having full access and participation in the experience.
Correct.
They gave you a deck of cards. You play cards. How you playing it? Like, what are we doing with it? Are we just
Right.
looking at them like, I didn't get enough spades. I mean, I can't win this hand because I
Yeah.
got two spades and I need at least six. Like, no, there are
And,
other ways to
and
win the hand.
and not being afraid to flip the card. Right? Like so many of us are afraid to see what's on the other side because we've been functioning in a role for so long and that we've mastered that role, right? So it's like, well, wait, perfection is going to be expected out of this next role. I have to be perfect
Mhm.
because I that's the image, right? And it's like,
Yeah.
no, you step out, try something new. No, I've never
Hmm.
done something before. Try it. I want to go
Yeah.
zip lining. I've never done it before. Right?
Definitely on the list.
It's on the list. It's gonna get
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
Riding an ATV by myself. Right? That's going to happen very soon. These are things that I've never done before, but once I do it, it's like, oh wait, I like that. There's a little dangerous
Thrill.
side, right? Over here
It's the thrill.
that I would have
Yeah.
never taken before because if something happens to me, who's going to take care of my child? But now
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I can do all these things because he's a productive young man. So now I get to be that thrill seeker and live life, not just exist.
Yeah. So, what advice would you give mothers who fear the day that their children leave home?
Trust, trust that you've raised your child. Trust that you've raised your child to be that productive person. Young man, young woman, whatever it is, you've done your job. You've done your job and you've done it well. That has to be the best advice that I can give you. And if you're not quite sure, have those conversations with your child. Have difficult conversations. What is it from me that you feel you haven't received? What
Mhm.
questions do you have? Of course, age appropriate, right? When they get to certain ages. But don't be afraid to ask that question. A lot of moms see their child as their baby. They'll always be your baby, but they're not a baby. And they have questions. You have to create that safe space for them to be
Mhm.
able to come to you with any and every question possible. Teach them
Yes.
about taxes, teach them about rent and insurance and all of those things. Kids are sponges and they're resilient. So what we think we're protecting them from, the world is going to throw at them full force. So have those difficult conversations with them now so that you know when they step out the door that they are prepared.
Absolutely. You said something though that was like, you said age appropriate. So I always, and more recently now than ever, struggle with even with that. And the reason I struggle with it is because if you had the audacity and wherewithal to ask the question at that moment, it became appropriate.
Oh, no,
And,
absolutely.
and a lot of times, I encounter people and they're like, oh, but I think that's like too mature for them. And I say, but they asked the question. If they ask a question within context that said that they understood the question that they were asking, in that
100%.
moment, it became age appropriate.
100%.
How
100%.
you deliver the information is on you, but the subject has become
It's on
age
the table.
appropriate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It just don't matter. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry, because they brought it. Now you bringing it to them is a different
Correct.
then I'm
Right.
considering age appropriateness because they're not asking, you're inserting the situation,
Mm-hmm.
but it is age appropriate if they bring it to you.
100%.
You
100%.
figure out how it may not be age appropriate from a comfort space for you, but you have to get comfortable and fast, because what you don't teach, the world will. And you always have to ask yourself the question, which lesson do I want them to learn? Or who's like, what teacher do I want teaching this subject? Because how I teach it and how the world teach it, it's going to be two different lessons. And
100%.
you want what you want them to know, period.
Mhm.
At like,
Which again
go ahead.
creates that safe space for them to come to you with
Mm-hmm.
any and everything. Mom, I heard this and this at school.
Yep.
Is that correct? Right? Because
Yeah.
they also know that you're not going to steer them wrong. You're not going to give them wrong information. But that means you have to be comfortable with
Yeah.
having those conversations. And you could be transparent and say, well, I wasn't ready for this, but here we go. Let's talk
Yeah.
about it, right? Because
That
it's
teaches
something
them
that
that.
they're desiring at that
Yeah.
moment. Yeah, when I said age appropriate, I meant like, because I had just mentioned, talk to them about taxes. You're not going to talk to a 5-year-old about taxes
Yeah, no.
situation, but
but
no.
but a lot of people have that age appropriate fear, right? Like something can come up and they're like, oh, you're not ready for that because you're 12, you're asking me about, and it's like, yeah, but they asked. And
Yeah.
it's in that moment it became age appropriate,
Yeah.
regardless if you thought, or if you had set an age limit on certain subjects, like, okay, when they turn this, I'm gonna talk to them about that. When they turn this age, I'm gonna get that in. When they, because we are prioritizing and planning and trying to prepare, that's what you did. But if they came in, 4 years earlier, but they asked the question, it became age appropriate in that moment. And so I just encourage you moms that, are out there still raising kids and on the verge of like having empty nest syndrome and all of those things, be available. She mentioned like creating a safe space. We as adults want safe spaces in relationships to feel comfortable to just express how we feel without being judged, without having someone having thoughts of us that are contrary to how we think of ourselves. And safe space teachings start at home.
Absolutely.
Every relationship experience starts at home. When you abandon your kids to go do X, Y, and Z, you're creating an experience for them as adults already as kids. So many of us are experiencing childhood trauma residue right now, trying to like develop relationships in this world, but we can't because of the relationships that we had established with parents when we were younger. So it is your time. It's actually your time to shine, and you shine through you being so secure within yourself, loving yourself, teaching them what self-love looks like, feels like, all the things, so that they understand that they come first. Period.
And be transparent.
There's a difference between transparency and honesty. I think a lot of times we get that confused. Transparency is actually sharing things without it being requested. And honesty is saying the truth when the question comes up. So 100%, you should be transparent. So I have one final question.
Yes.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Who is Evelyn today that she may not have had space to be before?
The thrill seeker. The thrill seeker, the go-getter. Like, I don't have time to be afraid. I don't have time to be afraid. We weren't created to be fearful. And at this point in my life, it's, how people say life is so short. Life is too short. No, our youth is short. So I am taking full advantage of the youth that I still have while I have it, and just discovering what life has to hold. What's around the corner? I'm flipping the card over. What is that? What does that mean? What does that look like for me? Right? So yes, the zip lining, the ATVs, the traveling, all of that. That's me now. Of course, always, like saying back to the beginning, my son will always be my son. I love him dearly. He will be 21 in June. So yes, my son left home at 19. At 19. But the me today, I've seen the fruits of my labor with him. I am proud of who he is, and I am proud of myself for everything that I accomplished in this journey called motherhood. And now it's, yes, the thrill seeker, Evelyn, who feels like she is 18 years old again, getting on all kind of different, rides that this life has thrown at me, and some that I have just jumped on myself. So I'm enjoying life. I'm just being a kid again.
Because you don't never have to stop being one. I think a lot of times we think we become adults and we have to throw the child side of us in the trash somewhere. And that's so not the truth. Because that child piece of you is still you. Like, just because I got older didn't mean that I'm going to stop liking the things that I like to do back then.
Right.
But we're trained and taught that that's what's supposed to happen, that you're supposed to grow up and do da-da-da-da. But half of the stuff that you wanted to do as a kid, you weren't supposed to be doing as a kid. It was adult friendly. And so, I'm just being honest. Like, when you think about it, you weren't really supposed to be doing it. So that is amazing. One, thanks again for joining us. Learning who you are outside of motherhood, I'm actually also encouraging you to learn who you are inside of it, right? Mm-hmm. The role, the title, it's exactly that. It's not you, it's what you do. But discovering you is the most important thing. And you don't have to wait until the child is gone, grown, and out on their own to do so. You can start now. If you have never figured out who you are, I do have a healthy tool for you. Me, Myself, and Love journal is out. It's everywhere. Go get it. Hit my website, hit Amazon. You need it because it's going to allow you to discover who you are, take yourself on dates, do things that you never thought you would do. And when you do it and don't like it, you just be like, oh, I don't like that. When you do it and love it, you schedule it again. A lot of us need to explore because we didn't have that opportunity. So explore yourself. Don't just go, oh, now what?
Right.
Go figure out what.
Right. Absolutely. The only way to figure out what you like and don't like is to actually try it.
Yeah, do it. Well, That's been another Transformation Tuesday. Remember, if you want coaching, go to coaching at unpacked.com. Send me an email. I can't wait to hear from you. And also, if you have questions or you want to send in a topic for the show, send it to podcast at unpacked.com. Remember, you are the blueprint, signs, self-love. Because over here, we love ourselves so much that the love from others is a bonus. See you next week.
That's a wrap on another episode of Loving Me Before I Love You. If you enjoyed today's episode, please take a second to show your support by subscribing and leaving a positive rating and review on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. Stay connected with Tammy. Make sure you're following her on Instagram and TikTok at Coach Tammy Nicole. If you like to work with Tammy or have any questions you like her to answer, please head over to www.IamTammyNicole.com. Until next time, always remember to love yourself so much that the love from others is a bonus.